Hi, welcome to Apart View video tutorials. This video tutorial is on how to rebuild a fan motor in a cooker hood. Here we are with a tubular fan motor. What we need to do is split the casing, 2 lugs either side which hide the screws, a couple of screws on the top, and then 4 or 5 around the actual chassis. What you really need for this job is a small screwdriver which will remove the caps here, and you'll need a Phillips screwdriver, and it should be a 13mm on most extractors on the fan itself. That's a 13mm socket. Just removing the second cap here. It's quite a straightforward job. You might have to solder a couple of wires onto the motor itself, but all the parts are available on our website. Just removing the chassis screws here, as you can see. There are different types of cooker hood motors. I'll be doing other videos at a later stage. This is out of a canopy extractor. A lot of the Hygienas, BRANDT, DIPLOMAT, BEST, they use these type of fan motors. And there we go, splitting the casing. There's the nut that we have to remove on the fan. Anti-clockwise on this one. Carefully lift the fan blade off. Again, the fan blades are available on our site. They sometimes have a tendency to get distorted and might need changing. Here we have the motor, which is attached to one half of the casing. Now the wires on this motor are soldered onto the actual motor itself, so you will need a soldering iron and some flux and solder to attach the wires. Straightforward procedure. I'm not actually showing the soldering on this video. Remember, on these type of casings there's usually a piece of plastic that holds the wiring in place on the casing to stop it getting snagged on the fan. There we go. You can see the piece of plastic on the wire there that holds the wiring in place. Now, after soldering the new or the old wiring onto the new motor, it's time to attach the new motor to the casing. Basically the whole procedure in reverse. The only hard part of it is lining up the actual fan blade so it does not touch the casing at all. When you attach the motor to the casing, make sure that you've actually attached it firmly so there's no movement on the motor to the casing. Sometimes you can do these bolts up and it will leave the motor, although it seems fixed, it's not actually attached properly to the casing. Just putting the nuts on now. As you can see, when I done it up there, I actually got the bolts all the way through before I started doing up the nuts. Just slot in the wiring. Remember to put the casing support in. Making sure the motor now is firmly attached to the casing. Attaching the fan blade. Now this is the tricky bit. You can see that it slides up and down on the shaft. I'll try and show you in more detail. As you can see there, just slightly touching, so I'm going to lift it up just a touch. Now putting the nut on to clamp it onto the shaft. Remember, nip it up and then quarter the turn. As you can see, nice and free there. Just double checking. Now we'll put the other half of the casing on and check the clearance levels. Because if you leave it too high, of course it will touch the other part of the casing. Now all we need to do is put all the screws in and then reattach it to your cooker hood. I'll do another video at a later stage taking the cooker hood motor out of the actual casing. Again, which isn't a difficult job. You just have to remove possibly the wiring either from a connection block, or you might have to desolder it from the circuit board. Now remember, for all your cooker hood parts, remember to shop at A Part For You, as that's what keeps us going and able to make these videos for you. We carry a full range of cooker hood spares, and if you can't find what you're looking for, please feel free to contact us via the email on the Contact Us page, or just telephone us. Last two screws at the top here. This is the mounting bracket that holds it onto the frame. Make sure you get it the right way round. It's always a good idea to write notes on which parts came off and the way they came off as you're taking it apart. Sometimes you get interrupted and forget. Last thing to do, put the two plastic covers in. Place them in and just give them a tap. And one last check of the fan motor. As you can see, nice and free. Now your fan motor is ready for inserting back into the appliance. Thanks very much for watching this video. Remember to shop at A Part For You. We hope you found this helpful.